So good morning or good night, depending on where you are in the world. And welcome to another interview of the Shield Dude on a Couch. I'm your host, Hector. And tonight I'm joined by Kyle Shaw. He's the vocalist for the band Obscene. They're a death metal band from Indianapolis. So first of all, Kyle, how are you today?
I'm doing pretty well, man. How about yourself?
All good over here. So yes, so you guys are ready to release your third record next week. So yeah, I'm guessing you're already excited to get that out there.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Read a few reviews. So far, so good. I mean, like, I don't put that much stock into reviews and shit, but I mean, like, I kind of feel like if you like the last two records, you're gonna love this, and if you didn't, you probably still won't, and that's okay. It's
That's a good
definitely
like
our
getting like the first two records, then you will like this. Yeah, that's a good analysis. So
yeah.
uh, so yeah, this third record, the artwork, which I'll show soon, is very cool because it was done by that artist that does Tool Mold and so many great records, and he's got like a great style to it. So uh, in terms of music, how much difference do you think you've had from your previous two records to the new one?
That's a good question, man. I mean, like, we've had the same lineup since like 2017. We've never really changed. We've had fill-ins for a few shows, but like not too often. I think it's just really us just becoming more and more comfortable with one another, just pushing ourselves to be the best that we can. And because I feel like each progressive record, we've had more depth, more nuance in our songwriting. I think it really shows in this new one as well.
Yeah, well, I think it helps that you kept the same group together because there's so many bands that have so
Absolutely.
many lineup changes, sometimes for the better, but sometimes for the worse. So in this case, it's good that you had kept the same lineup as well. So the sound of the band, it's pretty much death metal. But on this record, I thought you did you added some elements that enhance the death metal, especially on the last track of the record, where there's that piano part, which I felt like it gave it like an extra, like it made it stand out, because
Yeah.
sometimes metal, it can be like very abrasive. So I think
Yes.
having those pianos on, especially on a song called Agony and Wounds, which is also the name of the album, I think it's a great way to close that. Did you have the idea when you were doing that song that you wanted to add this piano or keyboards?
Yeah. So, yeah, that's a great question. We've always had elements of piano, like, but I mean, it's not like a calling card for our band, but like, I think we used some on the closing track on the first record, Habitable Dark. We used it to open up From Dead Horizon. And then like Mike just had the idea of how he had this written a while ago. He was just kind of like, look, this is basically just, his words, not mine. Me jacking off here, but but it would make a very good like album closer, and he's very good at. He's a very skilled. He's good at everything he does, but he's a great guitarist, obviously, and he's a great pianist. So it's just like, here's this mood I had. It's just dark. This will work. This will work with like the rest of the shit you write, and I'm just gonna go nuts with this guitar. We'll try to make a song of it. Like, I didn't even write lyrics for it until we went to the studio. It was just like, okay, like he just had this piece. He had the samples in mind. He had like the rhythms, the melodies, everything all planned out. So.
Yeah. So what's usually for you, Kyle? What's your process when you're writing lyrics?
Yeah, man. I usually just kind of hang out. I always listen to four records that get me in the mood to write. And it's Demigod, Slumber of Soul and Eyes, Amorphous, Privilege of Evil, EP. I put on the first Paradise Lost, and God damn it, of course, I'm blanking on the fourth one. Oh yeah, God Macabre's and Winterland. It just for whatever reason, like those aren't necessarily my four favorite death metal records or records in general, but for whatever reason, just like every time I put them on, I'm just like, all right, I'm gonna write some shit now. And usually I'm inspired by like anything from just cool horror movies, books I've read, even video games creep in there at times. Like, yeah, like I saw Written in Blood and Covered in Flies. I totally just yanked that from a line from uh Ghost of Tsushima.
Oh yeah, written
And
in blood and covered in flies. That's a That's a great title.
Yeah, I was just like playing the games, and like they mentioned it during like a mission, and like what I wrote had nothing to do with the game, but I'm just like, God, that's fucking.
Which game was it?
Ghost of Tsushima. It's
Oh,
like a samurai game from on I think it's a PlayStation exclusive, but
nice. Yeah, I haven't played that game, but it's good that
oh,
you
it's awesome.
get your inspirations from different types of things. So, uh, so you put that music, and then that like maybe it gets you like in a less stressful mood to just like write what comes to you.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And sometimes I'll just like I'll have stuff written down and I'll just bring it up to practice. And sometimes we just kind of try to play like mix and match. Like, hey, like I had these lyrics, I had this song. Like, what do you think? It's like, oh, well, I got this riff, and sometimes it just works with something else. Sometimes it just comes together like that. So
Yeah. Plus, you have you have some really like death metal sounding songs, and also the titles. Like you have a song called "Watch Me When I Kill." You have "Breathe the Decay." I love the other one, the "Rotting Behind the Madness." But I
yeah.
think the album closer, the Cloverland Panopticon. When heard Cloverland, I wondered, does that have to do with Cloverfield, that movie?
No, no. So that was kind of inspired by by two things. One is it's supposed to be like a haunted cemetery in Indiana called the Cloverland Cemetery,
Okay.
and there was a book called Horror Store written by Grady Hendrix called like it was some basically like long story short, the summary is they're haunting this IKEA like store, but it's built up on like this old panopticon of like prisoners who were just basically like tortured to death, and they come back to haunt this IKEA store. But anyways, I just kind of like
Are they haunted there because they couldn't? It's such a big store that they died,
no,
and
no,
they're like,
no.
"Where the fuck is the exit?"
I mean that that would not surprise me as someone just trying to navigate through that hellhole. But
Oh my God, IKEA is like uh, I got my last couch, which I'm not on it right now. I got it from IKEA, and
yeah,
it's so off. I don't know why
it,
people
it,
love it because you have to go through the whole fucking store,
it's right.
and
It's an anxiety attack for me. Like I mean, like yeah, I've got some cool stuff from IKEA, but god damn, I'd rather just order it and have it delivered. It's like there's an IKEA like in this like suburb of Indianapolis called Fishers. It's just like an affluent area, and it's a pain in the ass for me to get there from where I'm at now, and yeah, just going there. There's so many people. It's so big, and like you said, you gotta go through the whole goddamn thing. I'm just like, oh,
I wonder if like ghost hunters now will go to an IKEA, like, huh?
no, sure, I'm sure they
The
have to at
IKEA,
some point.
the IKEA is haunted. I don't know if you remember. I think back in the 80s or late 90s, when I think I saw on Soul Mysteries, there was like a Toys R Us somewhere in California that apparently was haunted with the ghost of a little girl that used to play with the
Oh
toy.
shit. Okay.
Yeah.
No, I haven't heard about that. I mean, well, hey, that could be inspiration for a new Obscene song, Hector. So if it does, I'll give you a shout out. Thank you.
Yes, you're like, hey, I thought of this. So
Yeah,
that
yeah.
song is about a haunting. So did you actually go to that cemetery to be inspired?
No, not necessarily. I was just reading about it, and I'm just like, and I just kind of had the idea, like when I was reading the book, and I read about that like a day or two later. I'm just like, well, what if I just like kind of tried combining the two, just like kind of have like an Indiana Central. I mean, just it's good. It's what's where we're from and shit, and just like, and Indiana's only pretty much only known for like corn and sports and shit from here. So it's just like, well, it's a little bit more here. Let me just try to like fit this in here somehow, some way, and see if it works. And I thought the lyrics came out pretty cool.
Okay, and the album title, Agony and Sounds. I know it's no, it's not Sounds and Wounds. I think
Hmm.
the album title at the end, like when you were thinking of an album title, because Agony and Wounds is a great album title. I don't know, it really sounds.
Yeah.
It's really. I know the last song is named like that, but did you do it because you're like, yeah, this song is the perfect title, or is the meaning more deep for that deep?
A little bit of both, because initially I floated the idea because I think we had like 5 songs written already. Like some of them were lightning fast, some of them were like kind of slow and plodding. And I was kind of thinking like, well, what if we did like a death metal version of Black Flag's My War, where it's just like Side Agony is all the fast songs and Side Wound is all like the slow songs. But it just, I mean, we felt like we were just putting ourselves into a box by doing that. So we kind of scrapped that idea. But I floated the idea of Agony and Wounds then. And it's funny you mentioned that because we've had like a little bit of, I don't want to like get too deep into this because it deals with our guitarist. He had some health problems come up and like during like it was discovered like during the tour and he's fine now, but it was very very serious and for a little bit and but again he's good and we had went out on tour. Well, it was more of like an extended weekend. Like we went out to Pacific Northwest and right before I did that, I fucking like I didn't break my ankle, but I sprained it very, very badly, and I was barely able to walk on it. So I was just like navigating throughout the sport, and then just basically handicapped, and I was in agony there, and I'm just like, well, it's kind of this outcoming out tile kind of works. I'm in agony. He's got some wounds, and it was just like, oh yeah, I was just I just sort of stuck. So like, yeah, it didn't mean to be deep, but it kind of turned into it when we were right when the midst of writing.
Yeah, no, it's a good title. It definitely is a good title. So I want to show the album artwork, which is really
Yeah.
kicking. So here's the album artwork, which was done by the artist that has done Tomb Mold, other artists. I don't know his name right now on top of my head, but
Brett Moore.
yeah, it has that distinctive, you have
Hmm.
uh there's a lot of like thing. It looks like there's a coffin. Tell me a little bit of what you had. Did you tell them what you wanted for the album cover, or did he just come
Yeah,
up with this stuff?
yeah. I would say like 90, 95% of it was all him just kind of going nuts. Because basically what I did was I just reached out to him because yeah, we've with the third record, we've always used a different artist for each successive album. And I think it's kind of cool just to like switch it up a little bit. And we've been very, very grateful to have really sick artists come up with our shit. So I mean, I don't want to like lose sight of that. So I mean, I've always liked Brad's work for a while, and I'm just like, okay, like let me just hit him up, see what he says. And I was like, okay, here we are. This is what we're planning on calling the album. And I gave him like a few references of like I basically name dropped Autopsy's Mental Funeral and Cannibal Corpses, like the Bleeding, the initial one where it's just like a string of corpses. And
Mhm.
I gave him some song titles. I was just like, yeah, just give me like a smorgasbord of people in agony and wounds. And he was like, say no more. And he just came up with what he came up with. I was basically just like, really, man, I just trust you. Do what you want. Do what you think's best. And let's see what you got. And he fucking knocked it out of the park. We couldn't be happier with it. It's so goddamn cool.
Yeah, those wounds are very. It's not a flesh wound because there's skeletons right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it really looks cool. And I don't know why when I see this, it kind of looks like I don't know, it gives me like a pirate ship type of feel to it.
I can see that. Yeah, it wasn't really yeah, I never really told him to do anything like that. It just kind of by his own free will and I'm not complaining. Yeah, I can kind of see what you're saying, but I mean,
Yeah,
I
because
think it's,
there's a
I think it's
skeleton
sick.
right there that I
Yeah,
think he has like an eye patch. I'm like, oh, there's one eye missing from the Goonies.
yeah,
Yeah, no, it's a cool artwork, and I'm guessing when people buy the gatefold vinyl, that there's limited
yeah.
edition, they'll get more of the artwork.
Oh yeah,
I
yep.
remember when I talked to the guys in Tomb Mold, and I think there was another band that I thought that had artwork by him. They showed me the whole piece, so the whole piece, it's more intricate. So with that limit, how many copies? I thought I read there's 100 copies of that limited gatefold, right?
I think there's 400 total. I mean,
Oh,
here,
400.
it's
Okay.
give me just a second.
Oh,
Give me
sure,
just a
man.
second. I'm gonna, since we're talking about it, we just got them in the mail not too long ago.
Oh,
Look at that.
awesome. Yeah, that looks sick,
Yeah,
man.
and yeah, I'll show the goods.
You
Have
should.
anything to hide?
You won't get in trouble.
Yeah, no one.
Oh yeah, that looks freaking awesome. Yeah. Uh, yeah. How,
Yeah, I
how
guess.
excited are you when you get your own shit in the mail?
Oh, dude, it's the best feeling. It really is.
Yeah.
It's. I wish I could like expand upon it more, but I mean, I don't know. To me, it just feels like it's. Hey, you did the damn thing.
Yeah. No, and with that artwork alone, people can just stare at the artwork
Yeah,
and
there's so many layers on it too.
yeah, keep looking at stuff to it. So the album's coming out next week. So I'm guessing you guys are preparing. I think you're doing a tour soon. Next month, is it? Or is it in the
Uh, so we're having our album release show, ironically enough, with Tumult and Horrendous and a local band from here called Ritual the day before. It's officially out on July 11th at
nice?
this spot, Black Circle. That's kind of like our go-to spot for shows. I'm usually there just hanging out and seeing a gig about once a month. You give it more or less.
Yes.
But
Hey,
yeah,
hi to
that's what.
the Tumble guys for me. I
Yeah, we'll
talked to
do.
them
We'll do.
last year when they had their
Yeah.
their album. So yeah, it was pretty cool. So
Yeah,
yeah.
and also speaking of, I don't mean to cut you off, but I feel like I'd be remiss if I didn't bring this up. But Brad's actually going to be at the show, like signing prints, selling prints, signing autographs, just hanging out. Like he's going to bring the whole art booth, so it's going to be really cool.
No, awesome. No. You didn't cut me off. You need to give out important information
Yeah.
to people who are going to be there. So yeah,
Sure. Yeah. No, it's just I'm just really excited. Yeah, I'm really excited about it, man.
yeah. So what do you have planned for the album release show? Are you gonna play most of the new album?
I wish we could. It's so our drummer just became a dad recently, so it's been kind of difficult getting together and like and changing up the set list. But like what we do, I would say like it's a solid shit, playing 8 songs. Not quite half the record, but we're playing a good quarter at least, as well as songs that like we're accustomed to playing that people want to hear regardless. Like I'd like to, truth be told, I'd like to play more of it, but it just isn't in the cards. Just due to us getting together. But as far as touring, we're hoping to go on tour beginning of December. It's just like I said with our drummer being a dad, it's just kind of like that's his number one priority, and we all understand. So it's just
Yeah, that's totally cool of you guys. Yeah.
yeah. So we understand, but the expectation is we're gonna go back. We're gonna do a little tour, well, like a week long, because we tour, but we're not the kind of band that's gonna go out on tour on like weeks on end, months on end, just because like I'm almost 40. I got a mortgage. I got a wife. I'm not. I've done the month long tours before, and it's fucking stupid. Like unless you're like making a living doing this shit, there's no reason, in my opinion, to be on the road longer than 10 days. So for us, and we're all kind of on the same page with that. So for December, we're planning for like a week.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. That's feasible for everyone. So in your daytime job, do they know you sing in a band?
They know I'm in a band, but I try to keep it very close to the vest because
So,
I mean, come on, because I just look at it as like I kind of look at death metal as intentionally off-putting music. So I don't want to invite attention to people who aren't unless like you care about metal or you're interested in metal or death metal. Then like it's just like I don't want to talk about this with you people.
yeah.
Like you're normal people. I don't want to. Yeah.
Yeah, I once talked to a band death metal, and they asked them like, "Oh, do you do you sound like Bon Jovi?" And you were like,
Yeah. I try to like just nip that in the bud. I'm like, because sometimes like, yeah, like, oh, you're in a band. Oh, I'm like, yeah, that's cool, whatever. And I just kind of like, I'm just very like off-putting. I guess I'm just very I guess I come off as standoffish. I'm not trying to be. I just like,
"Hmm."
again, it's just like I don't want to fucking have to explain this shit to you people. 'Cause, like, I know you're not going to understand unless
Especially
you
if
just happen to
they
be,
ask you
unless
the
you,
song titles.
yeah, exactly. I mean, like, although it is funny you say that because I do remember there was one time when I was working in the office. I mean, I work from home now, but I was, I left my phone at home, so I went to the works break computer that you can use to surf the internet and shit. So like I was looking at something. I got invited to the show. I think Incantation was playing, and like someone in another department, he's an older guy. He's like, "Hey man, you like Incantation?" I'm like, "Yeah." I was like, "Do you know what it is?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's old death metal, dude." And he's like, "Oh, okay, yeah, because I used to live in California. I used to hang out like cow decapitation stuff." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." Like we have some common ground. Like
Oh,
I
that's
could
awesome.
I
Yeah.
can I could talk to you, but it was one of those things where we're just kind of like it was hilarious because we were just like kind of feeling each other
You know
out. Just
what's
like
so funny right now? That
yeah.
Incantation was the band that they told me the Bon Jovi story.
Oh, really?
Yes, I talked
That's great.
to the lead singer and the super cool guy, super down to earth.
Hmm.
And we talk about a lot of stuff. So yeah, that's a cool, yeah, very cool guys, cool interview.
Awesome.
And
Awesome.
they told about like being asked if they sounded like Bon Jovi.
Yeah. Oh, it's just like, yeah, of course we do.
It's just funny that you mentioned Incantation. I'm like, dude, that's the band.
Well, yeah, I'll just bring up, and ironically enough, that's funny you even mentioned that because our first official show as Obscene, we were opening up for Incantation, and that's where I got the. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll be there. I'm playing the show.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, no, it's always cool, those type of like things. So if like for you, man, Kyle, like if you had to like open for a band that would be like a dream opening, like opening to this band would be a dream, which band would that be?
Off the top of my head, I would say Asphyx, Dismember, Autopsy. Um, I mean, there's tons of bands, but those three off the top of my head, I would die a very very happy man. So yeah, we've been pretty fortunate, lucky to play with a lot of great bands. Um, I mean, I'll throw an Exude in there as well. We,
Nice. So
I'm trying to, yeah.
yeah,
I mean,
are
there's
you
plenty. I mean,
keeping?
yeah, the
Mhm.
list goes on, but I'd say like I'll say for me, Asphyx, Autopsy, Dismember, Exhumed.
Okay, yeah, those are cool lineups. So so are you keeping up with any other new music beside your, do you have time to listen to music sometimes?
Yeah, I try to stay on top of it. I haven't been as active as I was, if I has been in my past. I've always been like, I've never been that guy just like, yeah, I only like three bands and that's it. Fuck the rest, because I think that's just some worse shit. But yeah, I mean, I've been digging. It's not that small, but I've been digging that Crypt Sermon quite a bit. That's really goddamn good.
Oh, yeah, it came out like 2 weeks ago. It's that book
Yeah,
record. Yeah.
it's really really good. Label Mason Ultra of Gore. That's nasty. I liked Coffin Curse from Chile. That was really really good death metal. Our buddies in Wraith. They're also Indiana boys. They just put out a new
Mhm.
record. I haven't listened to all of it yet, but listened to a few tracks and it sounded like Wraith. It's just sick black. I don't know. I hate saying blackened, but like kind of black metal-ish speed metal.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think. I mean, there's also like bands from Indiana I like a lot. I mean, like I like Atavistic Decay quite a bit, and they're like a new death doom band, sort of like Disembowelment, Spectral Voice sort of stuff. Uh, there's Violent Equity from here, who I love. They're like Niflheim playing Nunslaughter, if that makes sense. There's another band called Fuck of Death. It's like Slaughter, Neck of War sounding shit. Our drummer Brandon does vocals in his really cool band called Mother of Graves. They just signed with Profound Lore, and it's really awesome, like old school Catatonia, My Dying Bride sort of vibes. Really, really well done. I normally don't like bands that try to go for that, but they do it pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Um,
For that Catatonia sound, I have to be in the mood. Sometimes it's very depressing.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because I was talking about the interview with Decibel like a couple weeks ago, and I was just basically just like, if it's death metal, because there's like 100 different kinds of death metal these days, and I'm just like, but for me, if it doesn't like rock or it's not just like driving like fist banging mania, it's like I just there's some exceptions like Allstray for example, I like a lot, but like um I just don't really it just doesn't really move me necessarily. It's just
Mhm.
like I don't, I like to rock. I mean, I like Judas
So you
Priest. You know what
like
I mean?
the grooviness to the music.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I want to rock.
Yeah. Yeah. That,
Go back to Tumult. Like I feel like we're more Twisted Sister than Tumult, and I like Tumult, but like but just Just that's just kind of how I see it.
Yeah. Well, it looks like it sounds like you're pretty up to date with a lot of bands. You mentioned a lot, yeah.
I try to be, man, because like I said, like I'm almost 40, but like just the worst fucking thing I ever hear is just like these are
Dude,
just
I'm almost 47.
oh hell yeah, man. Well, yeah, well, props to you, man, for staying with it because yeah, it's just for me when I got into this shit when I was 14, like I got into sort of like new metal, and then like once I like discovered like the underground,
There's
I was
no
just like
shame in that.
no, I'm not embarrassed. I have no problem with any, but I also just sort of like once I discovered the underground, I was just like, well, I just don't have time for Cold Chamber anymore, like because I mean I just discovered this whole new world. But just like once I did, I just for me it's like that infamous line in Godfather Street, like once they pull you in,
You'll
can't
get a
come out,
call
or you bring me
from
back.
you'll get a call from Des Farfara like I was going to invite you on tour
Yeah,
with Cold Chamber, but now no.
no, well, damn,
Yeah.
missed out,
Well, I
missed.
think he plays more with Devil Driver now.
No, I mean I don't know. I mean he he can drive that big truck wherever he wants. That's cool.
Yeah, I'm kidding, man. So,
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
so
like, I mean, whatever. Like, if that were the case, I mean, that'd be hilarious. Like,
no, it would be hilarious if you got the
yeah.
call,
So,
like
hey, just want you to know, hey, bro, we're gonna take you on tour, but you say you ain't got time for us because you got into underground death metal. So fuck you, bro.
yeah, like that's exactly how he would sound. So,
Yeah, I
so
hope so. I hope
I would
I
just
hope he
imagine
talks
him like
exactly like
sounding
that.
like that. Yeah, no, I like me. I listen to a lot of music from the 90s because that's the music I grew up with. So I
Mhm.
listen to all the way rock through harder stuff. But yeah, I kept on like doing interviewing bands. The good thing is I keep like listening to new stuff. So there's great music out there if you just search in different areas.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
it seems like Indiana has a good metal scene, right?
Yeah, and it's funny to say because for a lot of years it really wasn't. But I feel like now we're kind of in the best era because there's so many cool bands just popping up, and they're all and almost all of them are trying to do shit like where they get
I
signed to
have
a
a
big label.
friend from my actual real job who lives in Indiana. So I have to
Okay,
tell him, hey, you should go to the Obscene show. I don't think he likes that. I don't think he's that into death metal.
okay, well, yeah,
So he'll
well,
ask me,
he
what do they sound like? I'm like, they sound just like Creed. No.
please tell him that.
You know, I tell him that, and then he'll
Yeah,
get there, and they will be like,
yeah.
"Oh God!" He'll go white, eyes wide open shirt.
Yeah,
Oh my God, his arms
so
were eyes wide open.
hold me now. He's gonna say he's like, hold me now. I'm 6 feet from the edge, and I'm thinking,
Ah, that's funny. Yeah,
that's funny. I one time I just texted my wife Creed lyrics and just for my own personal amusement, and I texted her like, hold me now. I'm 6 feet from the edge, and it's like, are you okay? I'm like maybe 6 feet ain't so far down. She's like, do you need help? And I just
did
reply with
she
something
catch
else.
on that it was a
And then
lyric?
yeah, eventually I got a text in all caps, quit text me fucking Creed lyrics. And I'm like, all right. But I got her going. So
Hey, at least it wasn't Nickelback.
yeah. Right, right.
It could have been like it could have like look at this photograph
Yeah.
or something like that. No, no,
I
that's funny because I saw on I think I saw on Instagram something about a reel about someone sending her husband, but lyrics to Hungry Eyes from Dirty Dancing.
uh,
He's like, what do you want?
I mean I might have to try that. But I gotta
Yeah,
do it soon before his interview post and she
yeah,
sees it.
send her something like that. She'll be like, what the hell?
Yeah.
So that's cool. So I gotta start doing that. I'll start sending my girlfriend Creed lyrics, and she'll probably be
Do
like,
it.
"How are you sending me?"
It was it used I mean it was kind of like a minor fad from years ago and I kind of jumped on it just because I thought it was funny and I like to fuck with the people I love but all out of love and but yeah it's called Creed bombing so if you feel like Creed bombing your lady go ahead.
Creed, Creed bombing your lady. Oh my God. So Kyle, it's been awesome to chat with you tonight, about the Agony and Wounds out
Likewise.
on July the 12th through, oh my God, what's the name of the record label that's putting out? I never mentioned the record label.
Oh, that's all right. It's Nameless Grave Records. They're putting out the CDs and the LPs, and Desert Wastelands Productions is putting out the tapes.
Nice. And I'll put the link for the vinyl variant, the limited edition for people who want to pre-order that and get it. We
Awesome.
can find right here, like
It looks beautiful. Sounds great.
yeah, looks. And how many colors do you have for the variants?
We got two. We got gold and violet.
Interesting, violet. That's an interesting choice. Yeah.
I mean, actually, here, since I have it out.
Yeah.
Tell you what
Can
it
people
looks like.
see what they would be getting?
No, it's gold. Shit.
I have a
yeah.
record is that color. It's that gold color, and I got it like for the record store day.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I try to buy vinyl, but I have kids as well, so I like to eat.
Yes, I understand. I understand completely.
It's too expensive sometimes, but yeah,
It can be
cool. So, Kyle, anything you like to say to the Obscene fans before we go tonight?
Keep it obscene, y'all. Thank you, fuck you, bye, as Jim Cornette would say.
Nice. So people, the Obscene record out next week. Go get it. So until next time, people, this is Hector.
All right, thank you, Hector.
The Shield Dude on a couch, and I'll see you all right here on the couch. Thank you and goodbye.